I'm so happy to be here with you and to be moving with you today. We are going to start on our backs. Just so you know, we will later in class, towards the end of class, use a wall space. So I just want to let you know that ahead of time. But go ahead and come on down to your backs. Feel free to have something under your head. If you're really working on rib thrusts, you can also put something a little bit underneath your shoulder blades with your head a little bit higher. But once you come onto your back, if it feels good to straighten your legs, you can do that right away, or you can keep them bent for a moment. Either way, you're working on tilting your tailbone towards the floor so the front of your pelvis is flat. You have a nice little lift behind your waist. And then once your pelvis is in neutral, that's how you can tell if you tend to thrust your ribs. And when I tilt my pelvis into neutral, I can feel that I thrust my ribs a little bit. So for me, it's just a matter of softening them down. I don't really have to force them down. And you shouldn't have to force them down. But I'm just saying, if even when softening your ribs down, you don't feel like they drop into the flesh, then that's where you would definitely want to put a little towel or blanket under your shoulder blades and get your head a little bit higher. Working from neutral is going to help you use the most amount of musculature. So that's why we want to set ourselves up without forcing ourselves to be in neutral. From here, reach your arms out to your sides with your palms face up, and then let's just start to move our arms in our angel arms, snow angel arms. Breathing, and you can have your hands all the way close to the floor, or you can hover a little bit off of the floor, and tuning into your breath here. Feel like you're reaching out from your chest and your upper back. And you can continue to stay in this rotation, which is a wonderful place to start, or you can turn your hands behind you. You don't want to rotate all the way the other way. You can turn your hands behind you so your thumbs point down and the palms of the hands face behind you, and you can work a little bit in that rotation too. And every once in a while, checking, did your pelvis tuck under? Did your ribs subtly lift up? And when you first start, you might notice, wow, I'm really a pelvic thruster or tucker, or I really thrust my ribs. But over time, it becomes more and more subtle. So you're making more and more subtle adjustments to your body. Put a little bend in your elbows if you tend to really straighten them and lock them out. And if you've rotated your palms to face behind you, go ahead and turn them back to face the ceiling. Extend your legs nice and long, hip distance apart, and then reach your arms up in a wide V over your head. Gently spread your fingers away from each other, flatten the palms to the best of your ability. Spread your toes out away from each other. And then take your arms down just a little bit, so a little bit higher than your shoulders, and again, spread your fingers and spread your toes. You can flex your ankles and spread your toes. And then relax your fingers and toes and take your arms down a little bit lower. So now they're about shoulder height. And spread out your fingers and your toes nice and gently. And then bring your arms a little bit lower below your chest. And once again, spread out your toes and your fingers. And then for there, let your arms relax down by your sides. Okay, from here, we're going to do multiple different hip motions. We're going to start with the soles of our feet, our knees together. And the motion we're going to start with is with the soles of our feet together and our knees open. We're going to slowly lift our knees up and really slowly open them down. Try not to let them fall open. So as wide as you can get them to open, you want to do it in a slow pace. Now with the arms, you have options. We're going to do those 4 different angles. Below the shoulders a little bit, shoulder height, a little bit above the shoulders, and a little bit above that. And at each angle, you can either hold your arms in the air, which is going to be a little bit more work, or at any time you can rest them on the floor. And you might see me go back and forth between the two, depending on how my arms are feeling in that moment. But start with your hands low chest height. And again, resting on the floor, palms up or arms lifted in the air. And let's lift and lower. And just take your time and go at your own pace. Noticing any clenching around the buttocks, around the thighs. Try to relax it. Going slow. Last one. And then next time you lift your knees up, place your feet flat, and then give your arms a little bit of a break. With your ankles hip distance apart, cross your right ankle over your left knee and hold that ankle over the knee. And then from here, you're taking your arms more shoulder height. And same thing, you can hold your arms in the air a little bit, or you can just keep them resting on the floor. So listen to how your body's feeling this morning. From here, come onto the heel of your left foot, and nice and slowly, you're gonna lift your thighs in towards you and tap your heel down. And lift, and tap, and lift, and tap, and lift, and tap. Rest your arms in between or keep them floating in the air. Ankles hip distance apart. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Come to the heel of your right foot. Center your hips and lift and tap. Lift and tap. Lift and tap. Lift and tap. Good. And then open your arms a little higher. Let them rest down. Uncross your ankle. Now from here, you're going to keep your knees bent. Lift your right foot up off the floor. And the action is going to be extending the leg straight up and bending the knee to the best of your ability. But these are a couple things that happen when that motion doesn't want to happen. One is we extend the leg, the pelvis tucks under. So try not to do that. Two is that as you extend the leg, it tends to go forward instead of trying to get it to go straight up. So even if it doesn't straighten all the way, see how much you can go when you're going straight up with your leg without force. All right, from there, so your right foot stays up off the floor, your hands a little bit higher than your shoulders, maybe hover your arms over the floor, and we'll extend, ankle flexed, and bend, and extend, and bend. Extend, notice your ankle, and bend, and extend, and bend. Put your right foot down, lift your left foot up off the floor, tailbone tilting down, extend, and bend. Take your time. Extend, and bend. Extend, and bend, and extend, and bend. Put that foot down. Now take your arms a little bit higher. Let them rest on the floor for a moment. Our next hip move is with outer edges of feet straight, ankles is back under the knees as much as is comfortable. We're going to push into our hips and lift our hips up and lower them down. If it's not comfortable to have something under your head, just slide it out. Arms are up high in a V shape overhead. You can let them rest on the floor, or you can lift your arms off the floor and hover them off the floor. Press into your feet, lift your hips up, relax any clenching, not only in the hips and the thighs, but also in the spinal muscles, and slowly roll your spine down. And press to lift up and lower down. And then just keep going at your own pace. Try to use the entire sole of the foot pressing down. Your arms can rest on the floor at any time. About 4 more of those. And from there, let your arms rest. All right, from here, if you have that a block or whatever you're using, towel, stick it back underneath your head, extend your left leg long, bring your right foot into the air, and then from here we're going to do dynamic twists. So you're going to put your right hand on your right rib cage to keep your right ribs down. Your left hand can come across to your right knee, and you're just turning from your waist and your pelvis, trying not to let the ribs lift up very much, if at all, and then bring that hip back. And rotate, and slowly come back. Rotate from the waist and the pelvis, and return. And rotate, and return. Okay, this time rotate, stay, so you're staying in the twist of your waist, and how about extending your right leg any amount, and bend the knee, nice and slowly. Extend, lengthen. If you notice your inner arch tends to collapse down towards you, press through the inner arch a little bit, and bend. 2 more like that. Extend, and bend, and extend, and bend. Unwind, extend that right leg long, bend the left knee, knee right over the hip, tilting the tailbone to the floor, left hand to left rib cage, right hand reaches across, and rotate just from the waist and the pelvis, and return. Let's do that 3 more times. Twist, and roll back nice and slowly. And twist, just the pelvis and waist moving. And return. And twist. And roll back. And this time stay in the twist. And then you can just stay there, or you can extend your left leg and bend your knee nice and slowly. And extend. And bend. Extend, and bend, extend, and bend. And then roll back onto your back. Bend that knee. Bend your right knee. Extend your left leg. Bring your right foot into the air. How about now reaching your arms into that wide V overhead? 2 options. Hands rest on the floor, which is just a wonderful option in itself. Or you can hover your arms a little bit off the floor, and you can change the height. So maybe you're just like a 1/2 inch off the floor, and then you go to 1 inch off the floor. From here, you're going to do dynamic twists, still trying not to turn much from the ribs. So the pelvis and the waist go over, and come back nice and slow. And twist, and rotate back. And twist, and roll back, and twist, roll back. This time twist, stay. You can stay with the knee bent, or you can extend that leg. You can rest your hands on the floor or have them lifted up, extending through the arms, extending through the leg, continuing to let your breath flow. And then bend that knee. Bring it back, maybe give your arms a rest, extend your right leg, bend your left knee in the air, still tilting your tailbone down so the back of the right thigh stays relaxed on the mat. You can keep your arms on the floor or lift them up, and we twist from the left waist and pelvis, and come back. And twist, ribs stay mostly, if not all the way down, and come back. It's okay if it's really small at first as you rotate, and roll back, and rotate, and roll back. All right, this time stay. You can have your hands resting on the floor. You can hover them in the air. You can extend your leg, checking out the position of your ankle, so flexing and coming more into neutral, and breathing here, reaching long through the leg, reaching long through the arms, never forcing anything. Any move we come into, especially today, we're going to do a couple things that are unique geometry angles, which is always good to work your body in unique geometry angles. but go ahead and bend your knee and unwind, and then bring your arms down, bring your knees in, keep your tailbone tilting down as you hug your knees in, and you can just stay, or you can put a little rock across your lower back. You want to be confident when you're going into a pose. If you're just like, I'm really not sure, I'm going to be unstable in this, then that pose or that movement is not for you today. Be confident in everything you go into, and then slowly over time, your confidence will build because you'll feel the stability in your body. This is not a journey to rush on, so really listen to your body. All right, from here, let's flex and point. Flex your ankles and point. Flex and point. Flex and point. And then put your feet down, roll over to your side, press yourself up. We're just going to do a few side bends here before we come up. So I'm going to use a block with a rolled up towel on top of it. You can just use a rolled up towel. You can just use a block. Put it underneath your rib cage, below your armpit, above your waist. Your bottom arm or another towel becomes your pillow. Your legs extend long. Try to feel like you're right on the center of your rib cage, right on the center of your hips. You're going to reach your top arm overhead, just in line with your shoulder, and nothing moves except for your arm a little bit. So your shoulder, you move your arm forward a little and just back to where it was, and reach it forward and back, forward and back, and forward and back. And then from there, bring your hand down, use it in front of you to press yourself up. And now we're scooting down, and we're putting whatever prop or bolster we're using right under our waist. If you're not sure where your waist is, trace your belly button and then lay right over your waist. Again, your bottom arm becomes your pillow. Try to find the center of your waist. And from here, your top arm goes up and overhead. You can either put a block under your hand or let it come down. And now you're going to lift your top leg, and you're going to reach it forward, just hovering in the air, and back a little. And forward. And you can always use your hand in front of you for stability, which is what I'm going to do. And back a little. Forward a little. And back a little. And forward a little. And back a little. And then bring that foot down, press yourself up so we're not staying long in these side bends. And now you're scooting it down till you're right on your hip. So you're going to hop the side of your hip, the side of your buttocks, right onto your prop. You're going to lay your upper body down. As soon as your upper body comes down, it's a little bit easier to stabilize yourself. And in this one, we're not going to move, but you're going to stay in the position, and you're going to tape your top leg and just put it right behind your bottom leg. And then if it's stable enough, you're going to reach your top arm overhead and slightly reach that arm forward. So your leg is going back a little, your arm is going forward, but without your spine rotating forward or back. So your hips are stacked, your ribs are stacked. And breathing here. All right, hand comes down in front of you, gently press yourself up, and then we'll spin around to the other side. So you can roll over and just listen to my words, or you can spin around like I do. Let's start with your prop underneath your rib cage. And please, if your head doesn't comfortably hang down, put another towel or a pillow underneath your head. And then from there, once you've got your body lined up in a straight line, reach your top arm overhead, straight in line with your shoulder. And then without pushing our ribs forward, our arm moves forward and back a little. And forward and back. And forward and back. And forward and back. And then bring that hand down in front of you, press yourself up, slide your prop down or slide your body up, and trace your belly button and try to lay right over the center of your waist, right over the center of your waist. Try not to have your hips rocking forward or back, so find the center of the waist. Your top arm can reach over, or you can stabilize with your hand in front of you. Lift your top leg a little bit higher than your bottom leg, and then the leg goes forward and back and forward and back, and really moving from the thigh, not rotating the pelvis forward and back, and forward and back and forward and back. And then bring that leg down, press yourself up, and hop up onto the side of your hip. You could always lower your bolster a little bit here when we come into this one. Lay your upper body down, extend your legs long, take your time. Once you feel stable, maybe the top arm goes overhead. You can always have it with a hand on your block. And then from here, take the arm a little forward and the foot a little bit behind. And breathing. All right, bring your hand in front of you, press yourself up, and now come on off of those props and move them to the sides and come onto your knees. Elbows down right underneath your shoulders, palms face down, spread your thumbs out towards each other, tuck your toes under. Lifting one knee at a time is helpful, and if your toes don't tuck under very easily, stacking a towel under your knees is helpful, and slowly go back and forward with your hips, keeping your lower belly very relaxed, your tailbone pretty high in the air, so it's not perhaps not going all the way back and tucking under. Check in with your ankles. If you can look back and see them, you can see if they're rolling to one side or the other. Stabilize. One of the reasons that we do this move so often is this is an unloaded squat in ways. I mean, you're putting a little bit of load on your body, but not quite the same as when you're doing a standing squat. And so it's really good at preparing your muscles to take a full squat. And a squat is a very important move for the body. It really helps in keeping a lot of things in balance, just like walking is a very important move for the body. Let's take a couple more like this. Okay, from here, you can give your feet a relax, or if you're all right, keep your toes tucked under. Walk your elbows a little bit in front of your shoulders. Now you're going to reach your right arm behind your left elbow, but we're going to do two angles. So the first one is we're going to reach our arm down towards our knee, and the second one, reach up above our elbow a little bit. So reach your arm down. Feel free to let your head rest all the way down. I recommend it if you don't have a mic on. Breathing. And then take that same arm and reach it up so it's closer to your elbow. The angle of your arm changed. Letting your breath flow. And then bring that arm back, and we're going to do the same move on the wall later if we have time. So with your right elbow under your shoulder, your left arm reaches through, but start by reaching it back toward your knee a little bit. Palm of the hand up, touching as much of the fingernails, the back of the fingers to the hands, and the hand to the floor. And breathing. Letting your head relax, checking in with which way your ankles tend to roll. And then reach that arm up so it's closer to your elbow and it's going more at an upward angle. And breathing here. All right, and slide that arm out. All right, from here, we're going to stretch the bottom of the feet more, so try to tuck your toes under a little bit more. You have options. Sit back on your heels. While we're here, we're going to also stretch the palms of the hands and the fingers. So your palms face away from you. You put your fingertips down on the floor and pull back. But I'm going to give you another option that you can do sometimes, is instead you can also sit all the way back on your heels and put your fingers next to you and pull them back. Of course, your spine is going to be rounded a little bit here, but you're going to get a little bit more stretch on the bottom of your feet perhaps. And another option is you can lean back and put your fingertips down here and pull back on the palms of your hands. So also stretching perhaps the front of your thighs, a little bit more load on the bottom of your feet. But if this is not comfortable, stay all the way forward and then pulling your hands back with just your fingertips up on the floor, thumbs gently spreading out to the side. And then slowly bring your fingers back and bring your body forward and give the bottom of your feet a break and come on up. Okay, so this is the move that I was referencing when I said please be confident. We're going to change the angle of our back leg in a lunge in a way we've never done before. And so what you might do is you might just change it to one height using a rolled up towel or a block on the lowest height and getting it a little higher than you normally do. And you might just stay there for both of the lunges. Otherwise, we might change the height if you feel comfortable enough. And by changing the height, first stepping your right foot forward, then you're going to put the block down on the second highest height and put your knee down on the block and come into your low lunge. Now again, if you don't feel confident and comfortable doing this, if this doesn't feel good for your knee, then don't do the second highest height on the block. Just stick with the lowest height and stay there. And from here, you're coming into a neutral pelvis. The front of your pelvis is flat as your pubic bone goes forward. And then you're going to bring the backs of your wrists. So turn your hands and bring the backs of your hands together and try to touch as many fingers as you can. Maybe even your thumbs come together. Notice, do your fingers tend to lean to one side? So you can use the center of your chest to line up your fingers straight. And you're bringing more of the back of the hands together. And if they don't come together, then don't drop your wrists so low. So keep your hands a little bit higher so more of the back of the hands can stay together. And then from here, how about pulling your elbows forward just a little bit and at the same time turning your fingers towards the ceiling. And then from here, let's drop our chin down to our chest. Now, of course, you've got to feel very stable on your legs here. Soften the face, relax the jaw. And then slowly bring your head up, release your wrist, and then you're going to, if you have it on the second highest height, you're going to flip it down to the lowest height and come into a lunge here. Pubic bone forward, pelvis in neutral, so front of the pelvis flat. And from here, we're going to work on the back ankle. And we're gently going to put the top of the foot down and tuck the toes under. And it's nice to have the lift under the knee because sometimes it allows you to tuck your foot under a little bit more. And remember, over time, the more mobility we have in our foot and the more we're able to tuck it under a little bit more, the more it helps power our entire leg all the way up to our hips. So top of the foot down and tuck under. And top of the foot down and tuck under. Excellent. All right, let's switch sides. So you can bring your hands down, you can take the block out and softly lower your knee down to maybe you have a towel or just the mat. Slide your right leg back, step your left foot forward, either just lowest height or you can put the block on the second highest height and bring your knee up to the block and find that place where you feel very stable and confident. And then from there, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. We'll come back to the back of the wrist. So bring the back of the hands as close as they'll come, thumbs touch. My fingers tend to, see how they're tilting to one side? They tend to always do that. So it's showing I have more tension in one side, somewhere in the chain from my wrist to my shoulder. So for me, I have to work on bending my fingers so they point more straight up and down. So notice that for yourself as well. Bring your hands a little higher if it means you can get more of the back of the hands together. And from here, we're going to do some head ramping. So if you rest your thumbs or your pinky fingers rather against the center of your chest, you'll be able to feel if your chest is lifting. Keep your breastbone vertical as you relax your head and slide your ears back over your shoulders. And just do some head ramping here. All right, from there, release your wrist, bring your hands down, turn the block to the highest height, or the lowest height, excuse me, if it's not already there, and come back up into your low lunge, pelvis in neutral, and then we'll work with the back ankle here. Top of the foot down, and tuck the toes under as much as is comfortable. Top of the foot down, and tuck under. And top of the foot down, and tuck under, and top of the foot down, and tuck under. And then once your foot is tucked under, you're pushing down to press down to come up. All right, from the standing position, let's do a combined calf stretch and top of the foot stretch. So, and if that doesn't work, you can choose one or the other, but you're putting the ball of the right foot up, the heel down on the floor. Now for today, we're not going to step the outside foot forward because we're going to keep it back, pushing down through the right leg, getting that stability, that hugging in, the balancing of the right hip. Tuck the top of the left foot behind you. And breathing here. And of course, if it's only one or the other, you can choose, and then you can always come back and do the other one later. All right, release the top of the foot, slide whatever prop you're using, a dome, a rolled up towel, a thin block, a book. Put the ball of your foot up, your heel down, push down. If that hip tends to pop out, hug it in, get that stability, and then tuck the top of the other foot behind you. Notice if you're clenching your left toes, try to let them relax. And breathing. Hope that you feel, as I do, how good it feels to move your body. And if it doesn't feel good to move certain parts of your body, do less more often. Do less more often. Truly, if you make it a more pleasant experience for yourself and keep coming back, your body will start to feel better and better and better. So no forcing. Release the top of the foot, release that. All right, from the top of the mat, outer edges of feet straight, our traditional stance. Hips over heels, ankles hip distance apart. Ribs relax down. Interlace your right pinky finger on the bottom. Throughout this whole sequence, we're going to do right pinky finger on the bottom, or in some you might have one hand on top and one hand on the bottom, but we're going to do the same hand, and then we come back around and we come back here for the next side, we're going to switch. So just think right pinky finger on the bottom, flip your hands inside out, press away, gently spread your thumbs away from each other without lifting the ribs up. Reach your arms up into the air, stable through the feet, side bend over to the right, pressing through the palms, spreading out through the thumbs, come up, side bend over to the left. Come back up, bring your hands down low, chest height, twist just your upper body to the right so the pelvis stays pretty much facing forward. And then come back to center, and from the waist, twist just your upper body to the left. And then come back to center, release your fingers, interlace right pinky finger on the back behind your back. You can keep your hands on the back. We're going to rotate from the pelvis with 2 straight legs. Try to really feel the pelvis rotate rather than the spine round down. Back your hips up, so halfway or less, and maybe lift your hands off your back, hugging your elbows in a little bit. And then you can keep your hands on your back. You can keep them lifted as you slowly come back up to stand. And then let's do that again. Rotate from the pelvis. Think more moving the thigh bones back than the spine dropping down. And then release your hands and sit back into a chair pose, seeing if your hips can go a little bit lower, and then noticing what adjustments. Does that mean you have to slide your shins back a little more, or open your inner thighs, or curl your ribs back a little bit more? And then bring your hands down to the mat. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left leg back. Lower your knee down. Stand up in your low lunge. You can always pad your back mat. Neutral pelvis. Hands behind the head. So here's where you interlace your right pinky finger on the top, or you can stack your right hand on top. Either one. And then from here, you're going to curl your elbows down as your ribs sink down and back. And then keep your ribs mostly down, but slide your head all the way back with lifting your ribs as little as you can. And let's do that 3 more times, like an upright lunge crunchy. Ribs curl down and back. You might notice how the position of the ribs impacts the front of the left leg. Slide the ears back over the shoulders. Curl down. Slide back. Let your breath flow. Curl down. Slide back without lifting the chin. The head slides straight back. And then lift your arms into the air. Bring them down inside your right foot. Tuck your back toe, lift your knee. Walk halfway around to the left. Parallel your feet. Weight back in the heels. While you're here, if you have a block nearby, we're going to use it a little later, so bring it in front of you and then come all the way up to stand. From here, let's start with our toes turned out to the sides. And then from here, arms low, palms up. Sit down into a squat and press up nice and slow. Sit down and press up. Sit down and press up. Sit down and press up. Arms a little bit higher, low chest height. Sit down, press up. Sit down, inner thighs open, knees not going past the ankles. Press up. Sit down, press up. Sit down, press up. Arms a little bit higher, chest tight. Sit down, press up. 3 more like that. Nice and slow. You're trying not to fall. You're taking your time as you drop down. All right, last one, arms a little higher. Okay, from here, pigeon toe your feet, so a little bit in, not a lot, and then hands behind your head, right pinky finger on the back. Side bend over to the right, head sliding back, ramping into the hands. Come up, side bend over to the left, head sliding back without the ribs lifting up. Bring your torso back up, extend your arms wide. Bring it back behind your head, right pinky finger on the top. Sit back into a wide squat, pushing your hips back, inner thighs open. Now twist your belly button to your right. Keep sliding your head back into your hands. Twist your belly button over to the left, breathing. Bring it back to center, extend your arms wide. And then as legs straighten, arms come down, rotate from the pelvis, 2 straight legs. I'm going to use the block at the highest height. If needs be, you can bend your knees. Keep your weight back in your heels. Put the block right in the center. Actually, let's reach it over so it's right underneath your left hand, palm flat on the block. And then from here, you're going to take your right arm and you're going to reach it in front. And you're just gently reaching, nothing extreme, as your hips back up. And then take that same arm and reach it behind and back your hips up. All right, from there, switch. Bring the block over underneath your right hand, hips back up, reach over with your left hand in front of your arm. You're just reaching for something, trying to grab something from someone, and you've got to sustain yourself, breathing. Reach your arm underneath your other arm. Backing your weight up into your heels. Okay, bring that hand out. Walk back around to your right foot at the top of the mat. Lower your back knee down. Now here's where the block at the second height might be really helpful for some people. But if it doesn't feel stable, then you want to skip it. But you're going to lift your back knee up and put your knee either on the first height or the second height. And then from here, we're going to do monk lunges where we lift up a little and just tap down to the block. Lift up, pelvis stays in neutral, so we're not straightening the back leg. The knee stays bent. Tap down. Lift up, tap down, lift up, tap down. Now from here, you can keep the block at the highest height if it gave you a little bit more access, or you can tip the block down to the lowest height. And from here, pubic bone forward, lift up a little, tap down, lift up, tap down, lift up, tap down, lift up, tap down, lift up, press all the way up, and then come up back to the top of your mat. Top of the mat, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. And from here, interlace your left pinky finger on the bottom, flip your hands inside out, weight back, hips over the heels, lift your arms nice and slowly, spread your thumbs out, side bend to the left, and side bend over to the right. Come back to center, hands down in front, twist to the left. Just the upper body. Twist to the right. And come back to center. Interlace your fingers, left pinky finger on the back. You can leave your hands on your back. Rotate your pelvis, backing your hips up. Maybe the hands lift off the back. Maybe the elbows hug in a little without thrusting the ribs forward. You can keep your hands in the air or put them back down on your back as you slowly come back up to stand. And then rotate the pelvis again, moving from the pelvis instead of just rounding the spine, breathing to the best of your ability. Release your hands, sit back into that chair pose. How about going a little lower with the hips as you back up, inner thighs open, breathing. Can the torso come up a little bit without losing your lower body stability and alignment? And then bring your hands down to the floor. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right leg back. You can always pad your back knee. Come on up into your low lunge. Left pinky finger or left hand on top. Curl the ribs down. Slide the head straight back without the ribs coming up or just not coming up so much. Curl down and slide straight back. Curl down. Slide straight back, curl down, and slide straight back. Lift your arms up into the air, bring them down inside your left foot, tuck your right toes, stretch that leg back, walk halfway around to the right. Remember to have your block nearby, back your weight up into your heels, come on up, turn your toes out to the sides. Let's start with our arms high this time. Sit down into a wide squat, goddess squat with our toes turned out. Press up. And sit down. Press up. Take your time. Sit down. And press up. Sit down. You can always see if you can go a little further, but without falling. Press up. Hands a little lower. Sit down. Press up. You try to use both feet equally. Sit down. Press up. 2 more here. Sit down. Press up. Sit down. Press up. Hands a little lower. Sit down. Press up. Sit down. Press up. Now, if your knees start going past your ankles, you'll start feeling more work in the front of the thighs, more work in the knees. So be conscious, even though we're moving at a steady pace. And then arms a little lower. Last set. Palms rotating up a little bit more. Breathing. Okay, turn your feet in, a little pigeon toe. Bring your hands behind your head, left hand or left pinky finger on top. Head slides back, ribs drop down, side bend to the left. Side bend to the right. In particular, I love the hands behind the skull because it gives you a tool to back your head up if you tend to be a head thruster without lifting your ribs up. Come back up, extend your arms, put the same hand, left pinky finger, left finger behind, sit back into a wide squat. You can already tell if your head came forward, slide it straight back without lifting the ribs up, twist the belly to the left, twist the belly to the right, come back to center, extend your arms wide, press down through your feet, grab your block, put it in front of your left hand, palm face down, wrist forward, maybe even work with the elbow pit pointing forward, back your hips up, reach in front, reach behind, bring that hand out, switch, put it right under your left shoulder, reach in front, reach behind, and then bring that hand out and walk around to your left foot at the front of the mat. Now here's where we're going to set up either low block or medium block and then low block. And this is nice if your muscles, when you do this, you don't want to go all the way down to the floor and back up, start with something lifted under your knee. You could even use a small stool. This is a great tool. And go ahead and press up and bend down. A little bit goes a long way. And if it's quite easy for you to do the full range of motion to the floor, this is nice because it focuses more on a certain part of your muscles. So you're kind of breaking it down into smaller pieces and working one little angle. All right, from there, lean forward, flip the block to the lower height, or you can keep it on the second highest height, pelvis in neutral. So we're trying to keep the pelvis in neutral throughout. Lift up, tap down. Lift up, tap down, lift up, tap down, lift up, tap down, and then lift all the way up, press up, and we're going to use our wall space now. So we'll start with forearms on the wall, shoulder distance apart, hands flat on the wall, elbows about the height of the shoulders. Walk your elbows up a little bit, and then reach your right arm through, but up at an angle through. Breathing. You're not laying your right shoulder on the wall. You're just reaching your arm through. And then reach that arm at a downward angle. Bring the arm out, elbow a little higher than the shoulder, reach the left arm through at an up angle. And then at a downward angle. Slide that arm out. Now we're facing sideways at the wall, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Put your hand up above, like about the height of the top of your head, and you're just got your fingers pointing straight up, wrist straight up towards the ceiling. And then from there, turn your chest any amount away from the wall. Ribs relax down, weight back in the heels. You're still stable on both of your legs. Please don't force anything. Listen to your body. You have to walk away from the wall a little, put your hand a little lower. Let's do shoulder height and turn your chest open. Check out your outside shoulder. Is it relaxed? You can wiggle it around a little bit. And unwind, bring your hand a little bit lower than your shoulder, and turn around, turn away from the hand. And sometimes at first, just putting your hand on the wall like this is enough. You don't need to turn your chest away from it. You could feel this in your chest, you could feel this in your shoulder, you could feel this in your upper arm, in your forearm, you could feel it predominantly in your hand. How about taking the hand a little bit lower on the wall, where it feels like it's almost a little harder to get the heel of your hand to the wall, and maybe turn your chest open. And unwind and turn around and do the other side. So hand starts about the height of your head, a little bit higher. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. You're just turning the upper body without the ribs going up. It's so easy here, especially if there's tension in the chest and the shoulder, to lift the ribs up. So ribs relax down. Unwind, bring your hand a little lower. You might have to step away from the wall. Turn your chest open. And my fingers are crossed, but at one point I felt my mic and it felt like the plug maybe was a little bit loose. So if there's interference during this class, I will redo it. So just expect that for Monday. If anybody has professional mic experience, I'd love to hear from you, because I don't know exactly how to fix it to really keep it stable. And I've tried a couple different things. But man, if I could figure that out and create less interference, these classes would I would feel better and better, which I would hopefully send that energy to you. And then bring your hand lower and turn your chest open. Because it already feels so great to move, and if you're doing this with me, I know you're feeling that as well. And then unwind and bring your hand a little bit lower. But at the end of class, if I find that there was technology issues, I'm just like, oh my goodness, because I can only imagine how frustrating that would be, and I don't know it's happening. And so just so you know, I'm still 100% trying to work on all those details. And there just are some learning curves, but I've been slowly getting everything better and better and better. So it's going to keep getting better. And then unwind. So great. Okay, from standing, maybe feet hip distance apart. Maybe if your hips are tight, a little wider. We're going to squat down as low as you can. At some point, you can maybe hold and move around in the squat a little bit, but if it's just not happening for your body today, then just crawl yourself down to the floor and take a few rib breaths until the rest of us get there. So from here, you're sitting back and you're going down nice and slowly, and you're just going down as far as you can, but you're trying not to fall. So even if for you can go all the way down, at no point in time are you just falling into it. You're going to kind of hold yourself in your squat. And then just move a little bit side to side. Reach your left hand out, reach your right arm in front, reach your right arm behind. Switch, bring that hand down, reach your left hand in front, back your weight up into your hips, check the inner thighs, all those skills we work on, press through the feet equally, reach your hand behind. And then bring that hand down and slowly come all the way down onto your buttocks. And from the side view, your feet are in front of you. Bring your hands behind you. If it's okay for your wrists, point your fingers forward. From here, you decide how far you want your hips away with your hands there. You can hop them a little further or keep them closer to your hands. And you're going to bend your elbows, hug them in towards each other, press through the palms, and nice and slowly straighten your arms all the way. Bend, elbows hug in, press equally through the palms of the hands, and slowly straighten. Two more like that. Bend, and straighten, and bend, and straighten. And then from there, you're going to What's next? You're going to come up and sit up, and we're going to sit with our right foot in front of us and our left leg curled behind us. And so from here, you can always stack your hips a little higher, which is what I'm going to do today. Stack your hips a little higher. So from this is called a pigeon seat often, one leg in front, one knee bent behind. Let's reach your right hand out to your right. It's your right knee that's bent out to the side. And then from there, you're going to reach your left hand underneath your right arm. And then in front of your arm. And my hand's not coming to the floor. Yours can, but it doesn't have to. And then unwind, use that hand to push yourself up. Switch your legs, so right leg curls behind you, left knee bent in front. And then from here, your left hand comes out to your side, and you don't have to have a block under your hips. Reach your right hand behind your left hand. And we're not going for extremes here. Just like making this motion is enough. Oftentimes, if you pull as far as you can, you'll start pulling on your connective tissue instead of actually using your muscles. And most people, depending on what you do all day long, don't use all these little muscles around the spine. So you don't have to have an extreme reach. Just going into the position is quite enough to do what we're trying to do, which is just to build circulation, improve our ranges of motion, and reach that hand in front of your other hand. So you might notice, or you might not notice, but not always, but oftentimes we don't do sitting on the floor stuff until the end of class. And one of the reasons for that is because most people don't sit on the floor. And so it's a lot for people's hips to sit on the floor, especially in all these unique ways. And I can tell you from a lot of experience, you can keep doing stretches which are great, which will help you sit on the floor better. But the best way, if you can get on the floor, to sit on the floor in unique ways, is to do it more often. That's what's really going to change your body. So try to make a point of sitting on the floor more often and changing your shape, even if it's every 2 seconds. You don't want to go into anything that's painful, but move your shape around. But we're going to come back to our first position, and I'm going to come off of the block, and you will want to too if you want to try what I'm going to do next. And if you just see this and you're like, no way, not for my knees and hips, then follow that intuition. But from here, your right leg is in front, your left leg is curled behind, and you're going to sit up and sit back down. Push down to come up and sit back down nice and slowly. And lift up and sit down and lift up and sit down. Let's switch. So left leg comes in front, right knee bends behind in front of you, and then from here, press up, sit back nice and slowly. Press up from your feet, sit back. 2 more like that. Lift up and sit back and lift up and sit back. And then from there, bring your legs around, bring whatever you'd like underneath your head. Come on down to your back for just a moment. Reach your arms overhead. You can put a block over there. Walk your hands a little to the right. Walk your feet a little to the right. Take a breath or two. Walk your feet and your arms a little bit to the left. Take a breath or two. Come back to center. Bend both of your knees, spread them open. Happy baby. You hold on to the back of the thighs. You can hold on to the shins. You can reach up and hold on to the feet. Can you turn the outer edges of your feet straight and still try to tilt your tailbone to the floor? If you're holding onto your feet, do your shoulders massively lift up off the floor? So So at first you can just work on your hips and let your shoulders lift up, but keep in mind that if your shoulders are lifting up, it's impacting, you're not getting as much range of motion in your hips too. So you could always bring your hands down and let your shoulders rest from here. So different ways to work into everything. I recommend doing all of them that feel okay for you, that you feel comfortable with. And you can rock a little side to side here. How about spreading out your toes? How about keeping your toes spread while you point and flex? Try to keep spreading your toes as you point and flex. And then bring your knees in, feet come down, legs extend, palms up by your side. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body. Become very present with your breath. Deep acceptance as you scan your body, accepting everything you feel. Accepting your thoughts, but letting them float by like they're on clouds. And keep giving the awareness to your body or to your breath. Stay present with your body, with your breath. We waste so much energy trying to cover up who we are, when beneath every attitude is the want to be loved, and beneath every anger is a wound to be healed. And beneath every sadness is the fear that there will not be enough time. When we hesitate in being direct, we unknowingly slip something on, some added layer of protection that keeps us from feeling the world. And often that thin covering is the beginning of a loneliness, which if not put down, diminishes our chances of joy. It's like wearing gloves every time we touch something, and then forgetting we chose to put them on, we complain that nothing feels quite real. Our challenge each day is not to get dressed to face the world, but to unglove ourselves so that the doorknob feels cold and the car handle feels wet and the kiss goodbye feels like the lips of another being, soft and unrepeatable. If you're ready to move, scan your body. How does your body want to move? Maybe there's a part that we didn't move around a lot today, like the neck. We didn't do a whole lot of stuff with the neck. So maybe as you scan your body, you're like, oh, my neck wants to turn a little bit side to side or up and down. Find that motion that feels good for you. Or maybe a part of your body has awoken up and it feels really good and it wants you to move more of it. Your wrist or your ankles or your hips. You can stretch long, you can curl in, you can do a little bit more of a side reach. And then when you're ready, roll over to one side. And that's one of the benefits of this practice. These subtle things, our feet straight, our ankles, the position of our pelvis, the position of our ribs, you will start to feel your body in more detail as time goes on, and it will show you what you need. With ease, press yourself up to a seated position. You can sit any way you'd like to. You can stretch the bottom of your feet again. You can spread your legs out into a V. Bring your hands together at heart center. May we keep ungloving ourselves so that we can live more through feeling than through our thoughts. I actually recently read something that Deepak Chopra said about how they've shown that people who are able to live more through feeling and less through thoughts tend to be happier. In gratitude for this day, namaste. Have a wonderful weekend.